Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad you're here this Monday morning. What a way to start the week here with Panhandle Outdoors. Got two special guests here. We have a great show lined up, but first, our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin and Highway 77. High today is going to be, speaking of Highway 77, it's going to be a high of 76 and a low of 53. Really nice day. Water temperature, 67 degrees. That's as warm as it's been all year. Spanish is going to start jumping in the boat. You don't even have to put your lures out. They're just going to jump in there. We've had the first cobia caught. Things we've been talking about the last 3 or 4 weeks, things going to be busting out. Well, this week they're going to be busting out. I can promise you. Bay County schools are on spring break, and your friend Coach Chester is going to be wetting the hook a lot this week, and I'm just looking forward to it. I know some of y'all are other schools are on spring break too, so y'all be careful, but enjoy yourself too. Let's take a look at our moon phases. Every Monday we like to do our moon phases, Monday moon phases, and today will be March the 23rd, very special day, March 23rd. We have a waxing moon, and it's going to be building up all week. This weekend, Saturday's going to be a half moon, so we're going to look good there. So marine forecast will be coming northwest at about 10, so it's going to be some good dry air coming in, and a great time. We have an opportunity now to get in the woods. We're talking this weekend with some folks about how beautiful the blooms are all throughout the neighborhoods and out in the woods and all. This year they're just especially beautiful. All the azaleas and dogwoods and just everything. So if you get a chance, and if you see a dogwood tree, my favorite tree was a dogwood tree blooming in the woods way back when I was walking through the woods as a kid. All right, let's take a look. I want to show this temperature chart one more time because I just mentioned 67 degrees. This is Coach Chester's unofficial. Well, it's official because this comes out of NOAA. But look back in January, and then we talked about February water temperature. This is a NOAA chart. And then look at March the 1st, how it just shot up. And remember about the 15th, they started catching them. Well, today the 23rd, and it's up to 67 degrees, and that's the magic spot. And but you can see how fast it can go up. In a 10-day period, it went up 7 degrees. It was fascinating, but it can really go up. So, all right, that takes care of our weather. We're going to come back with our special guest. Now, welcome back. Here this morning, Tommy Barnes and Daniel Raphael from Bill Kramer Chevrolet. I'm trying to keep them under control now.
That's right.
Good morning, boys.
Good morning. How you doing, Coach?
How you doing, Coach?
Always great to have you. They came in, we didn't have a coffee ready, so they just jumped in there and made their own coffee. And our salesmen have a way of making our own special coffee.
Hey, we drink a lot of coffee.
Gotta have it. Keep us going in the morning.
Well, I want to hear some fishing stories. I know it works out perfect because Daniel hits a lot on salt water and Tommy hits a lot on fresh water. So we're going to kill two birds in one shot. Tommy, you go first.
Well, I tell you what, the big bass are bedding up. Them old sows is on the bed. And I think water temperature is about 67, 68 degrees. Mm-hmm. And so, hey, it's I've seen a bunch of big bass. Sandhills are doing good. Mm-hmm. I saw some pictures from Elliot Melvin out in Lynn Haven out there. He had a couple of real big ones, and one was between 10 and 11 pounds. Mm-hmm. And so they're doing great.
Well, I know some of my boys were fishing Deer Point Lake and just did really well within the past 5 or 6 days. It just got on fire up there. Yeah,
well, they had the drawdown, and it killed the grass back, and then it came, they raised it up, and then it let the, fish, about the time bedding season got here, the fish really moved out there. And
that's exactly what I talked to Bobby Smith Thursday night at the Northside Men's Club cookout, and he said exact words. He said the water was able, when they closed the dam up, that water pushed them back in there, and the bass just came up in the flats with them.
They sure did.
Bedded. So that is good timing.
Yeah, perfect, man.
And Depot Creek, I understand, doing good.
Oh my goodness! Well, I might have slept down there then,
And Wimico, we got a good report from Wimico and Depot Creek.
Yeah, Wimico always turns on about this time around Depot and Columbus Bayou. Mm-hmm. There's some big bass caught in them areas because that's one of the first places that the bedding fish show up down there.
Daniel, what about you, buddy?
We've been fishing over in St. Joe in the canal and catching a lot of sheephead. I haven't been in a week or so, and a lot of small redfish, that 12, 14-inch bracket fish, and a couple of small trout, and fishing with live shrimp, popping cork, little Berkeley gulp, kind of had an array of different things we fishing with, and even rode out to the sea buoy a couple of times, trying to catch some fish off of those, because you get a lot of sheephead around those buoys, this time of year, and those pogies working up and down the beach, you can catch you a big redfish right now. If you can find the mud, you can find the redfish, and we've been having a good time with them.
Have you been any up in St. Joe Bay around Black's Island, anywhere up in there yet?
I went a month and a half ago, Coach, and I couldn't buy a bite.
Everybody said that.
And I just didn't go back, and I won't go back up until it gets a little bit warmer.
Yeah.
Get some more of those fish on the flats, and we'll go up there and get in them again.
It still fascinates me the pattern of these fishermen. You talk to them, and you get the same story, because I talked to some guys who know how to fish and all. Tried the same thing in Black's Island, just flat out struck out and didn't do anything. And then I hear the pattern about Deer Point Lake. Talk to 2 or 3 good fishermen, and you have to tearing it up.
Yep,
and then talk about
right.
you. So there's a pattern when you talk to more people, and it's so good now because of it used to be just word of mouth, but with social media, man, you can jump on there and then you could text somebody, and about within 5 minutes you got a fishing report from all over the place.
I've got an app on my phone that'll tell me where the best place to go fishing is right then. No kidding, it's called Fish Brain. And you fish and it says, hey, Bobby Smoke caught a 10-pound bass over here, and it's pretty interesting.
We need to get one of them apps. Where the best deal on car is. That's a Bill Kramer Chevrolet.
Right. Well, listen, I know we're going to take a break in a second, but I know I talked to Jack the other day. Jack's their boss, and he has his hands full trying to keep them straight. I know he does.
Yeah,
circus.
I call him sometimes and say, what are the boys doing? He said, I can't find them. I don't know where they are. I said, I need to come on the show. I haven't been on a while. He said, let me find them. And about 2 days later, he found them.
That's right. Well, I tell you one thing, he may not be able to find us, but at the end of the month, when we fill out that log sheet of how many we've sold, he can look at that log sheet and tell if we've been on the lot or not,
But if you want to find me, between 12 and 1, if I can break, I go eat.
That's
if I
right.
can.
Y'all allowed to do that?
Every now and again, they let us go to the trough.
What do y'all go like to eat?
Well,
Granny Kentrell's is a good place.
Can't go wrong.
Okay, we're going to take a break, come back and talk some more. Welcome back. So here with Tommy Barnes and Daniel Raffield from Bill Kramer Chevrolet. They've been one of our loyal sponsors for a long, long time, and we appreciate it. And you go down and talk to these guys, you just start talking to your long-lost friend you haven't seen in years and all. Daniel, you said you had a story on landscaping.
Oh, man, I tell you what, my wife has been on me to buy a new house, and we looked, and ever since we had Caroline, she'll be 2 in July, believe it or not.
Wow.
And needed something with a bigger backyard, so I prayed about it first of all, and then I called my bank. They told me what my new mortgage would be, so then I hired a landscaper. And Mr. Tyrone Davis at Reliable Landscaping Services, he did a fantastic job, and he's very reasonable. And Tommy saw my yard;
He found out a new yard.
A new yard is way better than a new mortgage.
New house. A new mortgage.
And so next week, anybody in the wood floor business, call me, because we're gonna get ready to do that too.
That's right. Remodel is a whole lot cheaper.
Yes, sir.
That is true. That is true. Listen, I want to go ahead while I've got a minute to go and show this picture here, because this is a fascinating picture. This is sent to me by one of my former students, Michael Trubia. He and Trey Lewis and Chris Wynn were out fishing. This was last Thursday afternoon, and this is our actual first, as I know it, this is our first cobia of the year, and this is right off shore here. In fact, I'm going to show you the posting he sent to me. He said, "Hey, Coach Chester," you probably can't read him, but Coach Chester is Michael Trubia. This is my friend Chris Wynn. We went cobia fishing, got our first one of the season. And Trey Lord is 48 pounds. So good job there. Thank you so much for sending that. And that's just a big deal to be able to get that first cobia. It's Thursday afternoon. Those boys are getting, and I know this weekend a lot of folks went out. I think there's some more caught too, and we'll try to keep a record of it. We used to try to have a contest who's going to catch the first one off the pier, and it just got to be just a big hassle as far as who's doing what and all, and which pier and at what time and all that. So,
while y'all was doing that ling tournament up on top, I was on the bottom there picking oysters off those pilings, and they'd catch me every time in the back.
What's your dad up to?
Dad, he, believe it or not, he was over last night. He come by to see the baby. He comes by more now that we have a child.
Yeah.
So you see a lot of granddaddies and grandmas, and he's good. He's still got the marina going over there, and they're really increasing their capacity to be able to store what they have been. So they're getting ready to kick off their season, and he's gone fishing with me every chance I've gotten. That's mine and his time to kind of hang out and get away. And I bought a new boat,
Tell us about the boat you got.
That's right.
I bought a 21.8 DLV Carolina skiff center console with a 140 Suzuki, and I have absolutely enjoyed it. I've owned bass boats, I've had offshore fishing boats, I've had inshore flats boats, and this one has been the most convenient and best fishing boat I've had. 8 inches of water draft, and we've just got high gunnels so the baby can run and play.
Yeah.
It's just been a great boat.
I know your family used to have to build their own boats, so we've come a long way since.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come a long way, baby.
That's right.
We often talk about Daniel, a great-granddad, I guess, came down late 1800s and all from East Georgia and came down and built a couple of churches along the way and ended up over there in East Bay, Carl Jackson Raphael. In fact, he's on the cover of the book, and we've talked about it before, though. There he is right there. And a great story in the Raphael family. And that was really, y'all spread out.
We hit the ground running, Coach. There was no doubt about it.
What about y'all? Still have your family reunion?
Yes, sir. They have it every July. And they have 2 a year. One of them's in Fitzgerald, Georgia, and then the local one is here in Port St. Joe.
Yeah.
And a mullet doesn't stand a chance around more than 3 Raphaels. He just gets paranoid. He'll run and hide.
When I got to know, I know a lot of them. I got to know a lot of them a lot better when I was doing the book. It was so much fun. I started becoming. We went and started going to family reunions. They invited the family, and we'd get in line down there, and they would, you felt like part of the family. And but that particular year, I think Gene, some of those guys had gotten some orange roughy, and cooked roughy and mullet. And,
yes, sir.
And I remember seeing those old timers. They ate it too. It was fried fish. They were going to eat it.
Wow.
I can remember the first time I met you was at my granddaddy's house.
Yep.
In the living room, you brought your recorder with you.
Yep.
And I remember asking my daddy, I said, "Who is that fella?" He said, "He's writing a book. It's going to be called The Full Box, man." And if you don't have that book, I suggest you go get it because I've got 3 copies at my house.
Well,
it's a good book. You did a great job with that.
Well, thank you, Daniel. That was just one of those passionate things. We went through a period of time and I got to meet some of the just most wonderful people. And sadly, they're all passed away now, but I still have their voices on that tape. And
that's awesome.
In fact, I was looking for Corey Raphael's voice the other day. I'm going to do a little piece on him. And you just don't meet one time with these people. You go back and back. I've met with your granddad, I think, 4 different times.
Yep.
It's fascinating.
It is. So, those are special people. You have there's a whole vault of knowledge in an older person. If you never sit them down and learn from them, man, that's just unlimited knowledge.
And I think one of the reasons, we look back and reflecting back and all, I think one of the reasons for the success of that was a category of people that most historians and all ignored. And they really, when they did history of an area and all, they didn't talk about the actual local people who went out and did things physically. And this was our heritage and all. And I think it struck a nerve with so many people that, by golly, we did do a lot of stuff then. And they were proud, of what they did. That's a lot of pride in their work and in building those nets and everything. I was just so proud to be there. In fact, I was telling my class the other day, just 100 years ago, in 1915, we actually here in Bay County had more taxis that were on the water, more boat taxis than we had car taxis, because the cars were just coming out then.
Right.
But everybody was using boats and all. So just 100 years ago, which wasn't that long ago, there were more taxis on the water than there were on the street.
That's right.
Now, you can't say that now, but that wasn't that long ago. But anyway, Tommy, let's get to bass fishing real quick, okay? I want to cover bass fishing real quick before we talk about truck. If you're going to go bass fishing this coming week and all, what would be some of the things you'd be using?
Listen to me now. Go to the tackle shop.
Dynamite.
Now, you know a chartreuse hand grenade with treble hooks is the best thing. And make sure you pull the pin before you throw it. Now, watermelon lizard. Hands down, watermelon lizard. Watermelon lizard.
Not a root beer.
Nope, not a root beer. Not for freshwater. Now, if I was speckled trout fishing or flounder fishing, I'd go with root beer.
Or nuclear chicken.
Or nuclear chicken, new penny.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. That's right.
I think a bass would bite a Berkeley Gulp.
Tell about
You probably would.
Tell about the fluke.
Oh, the fluke.
Because some of those kids last week caught them on Deer Point Lake with a fluke.
Okay, that's a good bait. I like the silver shad or a rainbow trout. Or a goldfish. Now, that's not the goldfish that you get down at a local aquarium.
Or your grocery store.
That is a goldfish-colored fluke. And you can put it on a little lead head, small lead head, big crappie jig, or just rig it. It was a small hook, and flip it in there on that bed, and just if you're sight fishing, watch that bass. There's always a certain spot on that bed where it's more crucial, and he's watching that spot. And if it ever hits that spot, he'll turn and he's going to ease in there. If you just let it sit there, he'll ease in there and get it and spit it out. Off the bed.
Well, that's the big thing about it. And those beds are different sizes.
That's right, different sizes for different fish.
And you just got to land right there on different places. You can't just keep throwing past it and bring it across.
You got to bring it in there and let it lay. When you find that little spot, and sometimes it'll be the size of a quarter or size of a silver dollar, and but that little spot, when it lands on it, boy, you're going to agitate that fish, and he's going to get mad.
Now you're going to move it.
She's going to get mad.
All right, take a final break. We'll be right back. Oh, welcome back. Now, this is reality. We're going to go. We're not posing this during the commercial break. We all did this right here. We all picked up our phone and we're trying to look see what's coming on. And because sometimes I get messages and something they're trying to sell a car this morning, but. I told them this. I said it looks like my class when the bell rings to start class. Every one of my students does like this, and when bell rings, most of them put it up.
That's right.
But I got a kick. I was telling them last Wednesday morning I had a faculty meeting, and our principal's up there.
That's terrible.
Our principal's up there talking. I look around in the media center, and about half the teachers had their phones out. So it's not just the nowadays.
And the women trying to hide behind the purses, and the men trying to hide.
That's exactly right. Just like the girls and the boys doing the class, the adults doing the same thing.
You can't get nothing over on teachers no more because they know all the tricks.
That's true. It is so. I wish I'd have just done some videos on these kids on how they try to hide this stuff. Yeah. It's incredible. And I'm not talking about bad kids. I'm talking about the best kids in school. Well behaved. Hey. Well, yes or no, sir. I got on to our salutatorian the other day. She had her phone out in my class. The salutatorian, and of course she turned off.
Now what's a salutatorian? That ain't had no St. Joe.
She was sitting to my left. She knows who she is. A sweet girl. In fact, I taught her mom and dad.
You were sweet, but you was playing on the phone.
Well, but it's just their way. It's their way of thinking. They get that little buzz and all. They got to do it.
Well, this takes priority over everything.
It's fascinating. Just last year or two.
Times has changed so much. I graduated almost 20 years ago, and I can remember Mr. Herring in my history class catching me cheating on a test. And Coach, I wrote 100 answers to a test on a piece of paper that big, and I got busted, and I had to go to an in-school suspension, write every president in the United States 100 times, but I never cheated again.
Who was the first president of the United States?
George Washington.
Well, it is the technology is fascinating. We did really with speaking of that, with our math classes and all, what the kids started doing. The first thing they were doing, of course, the first period students would text. They could even at first taking pictures of the test and then send it to the kids who had a fourth period. So the technology, of course, the teachers called on that, and then they were doing it. They didn't have it out. They were doing it in answers and all. So it really is a problem. And
hey, look who we got on the phone, Coach.
Hey, Coach.
Let's talk to Big Jack.
Look, tell us. Hey, we got to talk about cars and trucks. They're not going to pay the bill this week.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, what's the good deal?
Bill Kramer Chevrolet. Well, we got Tahoes. We got Suburbans. I tell you what, we got the best selection of Suburbans. We're getting a bunch of Suburbans and Yukons in.
And the pre-owned right now, I sold the last two Suburbans we had, but we're getting a lot of 2015 Tahoes, and they're not coming off the streets on trade-ins. We're having to purchase them from fleet companies that got them because the average consumer doesn't trade out of a 14 or newer usually. And so if you're looking for a pre-owned 2015 Chevy truck, GMC Sierra, Suburban, come see us. We got them, and you got to pay the sticker price on one.
And let me tell you something: no credit, bad credit,
no problem.
No problem.
No problem.
That's what we getting some stuff done.
Now we're rolling. Now we're good.
No problem.
They call us Mr. Credit Acceptance.
That's right.
We can do it.
Look, my family is a great testimony. My son and his wife just bought a little Captiva.
Right.
My daughter drives a big old Yukon XL. I drive a big old Chevrolet truck. So we've been good customers for y'all, but
we sure have been
faithful.
Yeah, but there's some good vehicles down there, and seriously, we did get a good buys. We all feel good about it.
We Mr. Kramer takes great pride in how, number one, the facility that we have and the way that we can take care of our customers is priority number one to him and the dealership. And I tell people all the time, you shop anywhere you want to. You won't find a better dealership, a better group of people to take care of you. And Jack, he'll go out of his way to make a customer happy. And I've seen him do it time after time after time to keep people coming back.
If you don't think a car dealership loses money every once in a while, you got another thing coming.
Yeah, that's right.
If it we do our very best. And I know people got, they say, oh, you're a preacher and you're a car salesman. They just don't go together. But I tell people all the time, if you've got to lie to somebody to get their business, you're going to have to lie to them to keep it.
That's right.
And that ain't no way of living, because you can't remember all the lies you have to tell. So the best thing to do is just tell the truth, give folks the best deal that you can, and they're happy, and when they leave, hey, you'll have a friend for life.
Well, the big thing, the bottom line is, honestly, now you get to deal with people like this, and I get so irritated. I heard some people talking in the office the other day. I couldn't find anything where I had to go to Atlanta and get a deal. And I thought to myself, now, you go to Atlanta now, you're going to get, that dealer in Atlanta or that individual in Atlanta or whatever, when it tears up or you have a problem with it, you're going to drive it back up there, or you're going to, what about when little league baseball team needs some money and all? They're going to donate it? What about the blood drive? Are you going to go in Atlanta? And
2 times a year.
I mean, you think all the things these local dealers do to help our community, and I feel very strong about that. I spoke about it before on the show, and I feel very strong.
Baseball, we're involved. We're Chevy baseball.
I did.
Go ahead.
I did a check presentation on behalf of Mr. Kramer, and Tommy did one for Cal Ripken baseball. The Kramer family is so involved in local charities, and
we just believe in the kids here. I mean, we believe in the kids, and we believe in everybody here.
Community, and that's what. But anyway, I'm proud to be a customer, and
we're proud to have you as a customer. We're glad to be a member of this show, because this show has helped us tremendously. I know in my business and Tommy's as well. If you're thinking about advertising with some good folks, Coach Chester's your man, and we enjoy it.
We're over 200 every month now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last 2 or 3 months.
We got to go, guys. Thank you. We got to go. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do something good for somebody today. God bless.
See you.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.